All right, everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast presentation. I'm your casting host, Beef. Joining me, Brandon from Muatorn TV. Brandon, we got another series here from WCS Europe. You stoked?
I am. Good to see. Terran vs. Zerg, definitely one of the more exciting matchups. It's not like, or sorry, my knowledge isn't as poor in this as it is in Zerg vs. Zerg, but I won't pretend that I know a lot about what's going on,
You
so
know
I'm gonna
what?
rely on you.
I think you know a lot. I think you do.
See, I'd like to think I do too, but
I think you know everything. We've just got to tap into that knowledge.
it's there.
There you go.
It's the potential, man. It's all there, but it's not coming forward yet.
Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that knowledge. We're gonna have you drop some knowledge bombs here in this game. Between these two players in the top left-hand corner, one of the strongest players in all of Europe, playing for Team Acer, training with a North American Zerg, Scarlet. He's going to be Acer.Nerchio.
And his opponent from EG, Raid Call, I guess, is DeMusliM, one of the few British players.
Later call.
Lady Call.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's what it is, man.
I'm just gonna drink.
Lady call.
I'm just gonna drink some water. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, he's kind of had a rocky career. Definitely gets a lot of injuries that aren't quite necessary, so... EG curse, man. EG curse.
It's like, you talk about injuries in StarCraft, and you normally like, oh, some cervical problems, maybe some hand problems, wrists, maybe a shoulder problem here and then. No, DeMusliM just breaks his arms. That's what DeMusliM does. EG curse, man.
He breaks his arms while fighting people.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's how he broke it once. He got into a bar fight.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he fell down some stairs.
Oh, I heard he got into a bar fight.
You know what? You're probably right. He's British. They like to fight.
It's true, they do.
Have you seen
Anyway.
the other British player, EG.DeMusliM? Like, there's a few of them, but EG.DeMusliM is the UK champion, a Zerg player. He has the biggest, manliest red beard.
That's awesome.
Dude, okay, I gotta Google this. So,
Manly red beers are epic.
cast it, and I'm gonna find a picture.
Anyway, we see one Rax expand here from DeMusliM. Pretty much standard, no gas or anything crazy like that. And his opponent has gone, yeah, hedge first and then into a pool. No gas for him either, so both players just wanting to get their economies up as fast as possible. A little bit quicker for, Jesus, Nerchio.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Just in Skype.
I put the picture on the stream and I sent it to you in Skype. But look at this. Look at that ridiculous beard. It's so red. Oh, weird.
Let's see this here.
Weird.
Holy Christ.
Dude, that's some serious red.
Yeah, look at his hair too, man.
Yeah,
That is
man.
some serious red. Anyway, third CC from DeMusliM.
Yeah, so DeMusliM going to go triple orbital here. This is definitely a little bit more econ focused, and it's definitely a risk. I remember listening to Idra a while ago when all the Terrans were complaining about how greedy Zerg is with Queens, and Idra just kept saying you have to out-greedy the Zerg. And that's what triple orbital is. You're trying to keep your economy on par with the Zerg. And as long as the Zerg isn't able to scout it, then they have to be able to defend against all of your 2-base timings, while you have this hidden orbital that's going to be able to produce more SCVs, drop more mules, and just generally get you into a better position. So this is one way of doing it. We do see that Nerchio has not dropped a third yet. Typically, you do see that third come down when you scout your opponent's natural. But no third just yet, and with double gas off of just 2 base here, Nerchio looks like he could be willing to stay on 2 base a little bit longer, like we saw out of Lowly last week.
Yeah, hopefully it goes better for him than it did for Lily, though. That was kind of rough. Just that those thirds were so late that he couldn't keep them.
Yeah.
That was not so good. But we do see double gas here from Nerchio, like you said. What do you think that's for? Like a quick layer or something?
Double gas generally going to be going for upgrades. That's what I would think. I would see a double Evo chamber be coming down here in the next 30 to 40 seconds, most likely. Although that layer does start right there, so maybe he's not looking for any kind of early upgrades. But I would
I don't know.
still think that that's probably going to be coming down relatively soon. But we'll see.
Third gas also started in the natural, so lots of gas here.
Yeah. So definitely an interesting build here out of Nerchio. And with that third gas and not a fourth, could be leaning towards Roach aggression. There goes a Roach Warren. So yeah, Roaches definitely could be a possibility here. We'll see if he does build those in an offensive or defensive capacity. Very good at dealing with Hellion aggression, which is what's coming out of his opponent, though I'm not sure if he knows that just yet. He actually did see the factory, so
Okay.
he's good.
I thought he did. I wasn't completely sure. Also, Starport lifting off, going onto the tech lab right now. This is going to be the pretty much standard at this point. Hellion Banshee. It's so good, man. You just always kill workers. Definitely an awesome way to go. No upgrade started yet for WCS. He does have, well, there goes +1 attack. But he does have double Evo, or eBay, so he should be starting +1 armor as well in a moment. And the third is about halfway done here for Nerchio.
Yeah, and the Hellions do manage to go ahead and get that scout off there. So nice job. And they even force a cancel on one of those creep tumors, but nice job from Nerchio to get that cancel off. Something that not enough Zergs do. If you have a creep tumor building and it's about to die, you can cancel that and it completely restores the creep tumor. So that gets used another day. Don't lose that, because every one of those that you lose is a lot of potential creep spread lost. So, and yeah, once again, oh, nice job there from WCS. Knowing that that creep tumor was super low, positions his Hellion perfectly and is able to take a shot at his own Hellion and allow the splash line damage to actually kill the creep tumor. So very cool play there from WCS. That's something that you really see from only high-level players.
I remember when, I think it was QXC who first did that, and everyone was like, my brain just exploded.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Like, that's so good.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things ever. We actually see a lot of Hellions here for WCS. He's got 8 out already. He's stopped producing, so he's looking to stay at around that part, but that's still quite a few. You can do a lot of damage to drones with that. As Nerchio is saturating his third here, he could definitely take a bunch of damage. The infestation pit is done. Pathogen glands is on the way, and Nerchio is upgrading +1 melee and +1 carapace. He's also getting roach speed right now. Why do you think he's getting roach speed if he's getting melee upgrades?
Roach speed is just never something that's bad to have. Roach speed with your roaches is going to be able to very, very effectively deal with this Hellion Banshee. If you have a decent amount of creep spread here, the roaches will be very good at dealing with the Hellions, and then the Queens will be very good at dealing with the Banshees. Once you're on layer tech, you have that Overseer out, so roaches and Queens is what you need to deal with this harassment here. The roaches is much less effective against the Zerglings, or excuse me, the Marines Marauders that could come out a little bit later, but very good at dealing with this early, let's say 10 to 12 minute harassment from the Banshee and the Hellions. So Zerglings and Roaches, actually just Roaches, going to be making their way over here into the third, where they are going to indeed find a saturated third base, well, partially saturated third base. It's going to force back a lot of units, and all of these Roaches are going to be lost. They don't have burrow. They're not going to be able to get out of there, but they're going to be able to do a substantial amount of damage. Try to pick off as many Hellions as they can there. 1 and 2 Hellions do go down. 3, 4, and almost get a 5th Hellion. So thinning that Hellion count back down to a much more manageable 4 is definitely a good thing to have.
Yeah, for sure. And he also killed, a lot of SCVs and a couple of mules as well. I kind of think the Muslim should have just brought his workers over to the bunker. Even though it's only 4 Marines, with all those workers repairing it, maybe some of them would have lived, but not really sure. WCS transferring some more SCVs down to his natural just to get his saturation back a little more to even. And it looks like he's pretty good in his main, so he should just... Well, actually, he's a little oversaturated in his main, so he should also transfer some of those. The armory is done, and 2-2 is about halfway done here for WCS. And he's got 2 medevacs loaded up in the middle of the map. Gonna look for a drop here. Just Marines, or sorry, 1 Marauder with those Marines, so not really much of a difference, really.
And so we do see here from Nerchio that he's going up to Hive Tech already, but I don't believe that he has a Spire out unless I haven't seen the Spire somehow, which leads me to believe that he's going to be going Ultralisks here. Out of this, working with those upgrades already at 1-1 and working on +2 ground melee weapons, definitely leads me to believe that. And moving in once again with Zerglings and Roaches into the third base over here, and this is a lot of Zerg. Being able to get quite a few worker kills, going to be able to destroy that bunker as well. The Roach is going to make their way into the mineral line, and a ton of workers going down, but at the same time, a counter drop on the left-hand side of the map at Nerchio's fourth is being cleaned up by a decent number of Lings, Roaches, and a couple of Infestors over here. And the Queen's even be able to cast a few transfusions to try to get that hatchery back up on life. But if we take a look at workers killed, 34 workers killed now by Nerchio. That's not what you want to see when you opened up Hellion and Banshee and your opponent's got almost 5 times as many workers killed as you.
Yeah, that's super rough, especially if you're Terran. Generally, the race that wants to stay, or that makes the least amount of workers. So, you know, that's obviously a huge deal with Protoss and Zerg as well, but I think it's the worst with Terran. However, they do have mules to back up for that, and DeMuslim is walking up to the, what is this, the 5th right now? He picks off an Infestor real quick, and he should get this hatch pretty easily. Will he go back right after this? I think so.
Yeah, he's going to need to go back after this. The Zerg making his way into the 3rd. Once again, that orbital command needs to be lifted off, otherwise it's going to be dying. Okay, it gets lifted off, and there's a decent amount of units up here on the natural hill, but I don't think that they're actually going to be enough. And DeMusliM might actually have to force a base trade here, because right now the Zerg army is absolutely destroying everything in his natural. He might need to lift up all these SCVs here into the medevacs, and in the middle of the map, the Marines and Marauders with no medevac support and 1 tank without siege mode is actually not going to be useful. Every one of the SCVs in the natural does get cleaned up, and the Zerg is being thinned out here at home. But big fungal is going to be coming down on the army in the middle of the map. Queens and Zerglings going to be able to clean that up, and DeMusliM falling down to just 87 supply right now. Finally does clean up his natural, but he has taken so much damage.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, you know, Nerchio was going for Hive, so he started 3-3. He's also started Crack, or Adrenal Glands, which are done now. So these Zerglings are just going to kill shit so fast, and all these medevacs are pretty much no energy. I mean, the one with the most energy is 40, which that's not very much health. And, you know, the fact that he's been losing so many tanks because there's no siege mode means there's really no tank support either. It's just kind of a couple bio units with empty medevacs and 1 tank.
Yeah, this is going to be a very rough defense here for our Terran player. These heavily upgraded Lings are going to shred through the Terran army with no splash damage. A couple of nice fungals going to be going down onto some of these medevacs. I think I would have liked to have seen the fungals maybe on the bio there, although DeMusliM did have a nice split because he's got all these medevacs at very low life and low energy now, but he's not able to finish them off because he just doesn't have enough energy on his Infestors. DeMusliM cleans up that Expeditionary Force there from the Zerg, going to drop a scan to see what his opponent has left. A nice fungal, going to be able to clean up a lot of Marines there, but these Marauders are actually going to be able to make contact with a couple of these Infestors and take those out very quickly. Another stim up here into the 4th of our Zerg player, going to be able to take that Queen out very nicely, and he might be able to focus down that hatchery, although a lot of Lings going to be coming in once again. Another nice fungal, and the bio being continued to be microed, might be able to take out 1 more Infestor, does get that Infestor before the rest of this bio does fall.
Yeah, but, you know, to trade for all that stuff, he didn't really kill all that much. Like, he didn't get any hatcheries, a few drones, but not that many. And he lost almost all of his medevacs, along with, you know, all the tanks. So again, resetting that tank count, just so it's going to take even longer before he has enough to really make a difference.
Yeah,
and killed a bunch of bio as well for Zerglings.
There was actually a huge blunder right there, a little bit of miscontrol there from Nerchio, where he did lose about 6 Infestors there in the middle of the map. Just completely having them on move command and a little bit screwed up. Nice job burrowing some Lings in there, something that Nerchio is definitely known for, burrowing Lings in each one of these mineral lines, unburrows them, and is able to just get a lot more damage done, unburrows at both of these locations. So there is essentially a run by at 3 different locations right now. And DeMusliM is split so thin, his multitasking so taxed right now, and even reburrowing 2 of these Lings once again. So either forces out a scan, or those 2 Lings are going to be able to continue to wreak havoc. And 2 Cracklings, 3-3 with the Adrenal Glands, are going to be able to absolutely shred through the SCVs over here on the mineral line once those do get unburrowed.
Yeah, even just 2 Zerglings will kill SCVs so quickly with Adrenal Glands and upgrades. And we see Nerchio here cleans up another army from DeMusliM with solid fungals and trades some Lings for bio. Again, the medevacs are just out of energy. You know, generally when you're facing Infestors, you want medevacs because they're like the only way to deal with fungal if you don't split well enough. But being that there's only 3 of them, he just doesn't have the energy to do it. Again, you know, Nerchio's just gonna keep making lings and try to kill his opponent here. He's got +3 armor on the way, and he's still spreading creep like crazy, so it's just all over the place.
Now, Nerchio just with the continued aggression right now, not allowing DeMuslim to really land that command center, get that planetary fortress up, staying on only Zergling Infestor for a very long time right now because DeMuslim has not been able to get that tank force out. Another large wave of Zerglings going to be able to make their way in here. A ton of high energy Infestors do land a couple of nice fungals right there, but the Zerglings going to be able to continually target down that planetary fortress. Does get the cancel off, and DeMuslim feeling the pressure from the Zerg swarm, forced to tap out. Nerchio takes a 1-0 lead in this series.
Yep, well played by Nerchio. He just kind of got it to a point where he was at Infestor Ling with really good upgrades and never stopped attacking. He seemed kind of like Thorzan that game we casted a few days ago.
Oh yeah, that was a really cool game by Thorzan playing that Pult style, and this is something that I would equate almost like a July Zerg style. He did go up to that hive just to get the upgrades though, and he just continually attacked, never stopped attacking. So cool. All right, I've been your casting host Beef. Joining me, Brandon from Muatorn TV. Where can they find you, buddy?
You can go to YouTube, just youtube.com/MuatarnTV. It's MUATARAN, and on Twitter at Muatarn, same spelling.
All right, we're going to move moving on to game 2 in this series. Is DeMuslim going to be able to bring it back to 1-1, or will Nerchio take this one into sleep and eliminate his evil genius's opponent? We'll have to see in game 2.